Shabbat Shalom from Gaza border. Yes, 600 trucks a day of aid go into Gaza. Look at this release. It's barbaric how these hostages, innocent men and women, are being released in such barbaric circumstances, you know? And then we have to release 110 Palestinian prisoners. And, you know, I lived through the second Intifada, and I saw the buses that these guys blew up, like Ahmed Barghouti. He has 67 life sentences. Mohammed Abu Warda, 48 life sentences for the violence they've done. And this deal, it's a deal. It's a deal, you know. 33 hostages. In exchange, 735 Palestinian prisoners will be set free from our prisons. And so you have here Gadi Moses, he's 80 years old, Arbel Yehud, who's 29 years old, and Agam Berger, and 5 Thai nationals, 8 in total, released. And it just was so horrific, really. And why were they even holding these Thai nationals? Pongsak Thena, Saithan Sukawaham, Wachera Siriahan, Banuat Sithio, and Surasak Rumeno. Why are they holding them? And they're still holding Pinta Nathapong. He's another Thai national still being held. And the bodies of others. What are they thinking? You look at how they took these hostages, and it feels like they were trying to add to their psychological trauma by forcing them to wade through a whole bunch of bloodthirsty, violent, quote-unquote innocent Palestinians. And it's like the first time the Red Cross sees them in 482 days. First time Red Cross is there as like an Uber. My friend Mansour, he says it's like they've just become an Uber. What about doing what they're supposed to do and checking on the health conditions of the hostages? You know, and they're not prisoners of war. They are hostages. It's different. It really is different. I think people are getting that confused. We have terrorists in our prisons, and they have innocent children and hostages. You can hear the gunfire behind me. Netanyahu says those who dare harm our hostages will do so at their own peril. And Ben Gvir, he says, that is a horror scene. Netanyahu said this is proof of the unimaginable cruelty of the Hamas and Islamic Jihad terrorist organizations. It is really horrific, and it's traumatizing to even watch these moments that are just chaotic and violent, lawless, lawless. It's just... there's no dignity. There's no respect for human life. They just continue to hold our people, and this got to stop. I think we're being too nice, if you ask me. I think we need to just say, look, this whole deal, we need to change this deal, you know. One thing that I think is quite clear now is the contrast between those who love life in Israel and those who love death there in Gaza. And you see their lawlessness and us wanting to uphold justice and the law. And you know, they don't care about their citizens. We care so deeply. You see the hugs and the kisses of the when the hostages are returned to their families. And you see when the prisoners are released, they're just shooting guns in the air, and it's more of the same. Human shields versus us risking everything to rescue those, civilians. And so you just see the contrast. You see the brutality versus the only democracy in the whole Middle East. And I just think the world is watching. They can no longer hold to their lies. And as Shabbat, it begins again, and it's 483 days that I've been here stationed. I just want to read Isaiah 49, because these promises are what we hold on to. And we're going to see a new future. The evil won't win. Wicked might seem like they're winning for a season, but they will not win. Isaiah 49, verse 15, 16, and 17. Can a woman forget the child she nurses, that she could not have a compassion on the son of her womb? Yes, they might even forget. Yet I, the God of Israel, will not forget you, Israel. Behold, I've engraven you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me. Your children will make haste. Your destroyers, and they that made you waste, will go forth from you. So our children are going to come home, and the bad guys are going to get out of here. This really struck a deep chord in me when I saw the headlines of the newspaper about the release, and Agam Berger's words where she says, "The path of faith is what I chose, and the path of faith brought me home." Shabbat Shalom.